You're watching KCAL9 News at 2.
Well, she's certainly been through a lot, but she has always managed to find the good, even in some really bad situations.
And it happens to be the topic of her new book, I'm Still Standing. We're joined now by the author, Kelly Standing. Thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having
Clever
me.
title, taken from the name of the author there.
Yes, my dad's really happy. Kip Standing is happy that the Standing name is being bandied about. But
I guess that's Still Standing is quite an undertaking and quite an accomplishment after all you've been through. Tell us about it.
it is. Well, I've been hit by a car, struck by lightning.
Hi.
I died when I was 29, went into the bright light, lived to tell. When I was 6 years old, that's the earliest one I remember, the neighborhood bully used my own jump rope to hang me from a tree by my neck. And then he took off. He threw my baby doll in the creek that ran behind our homes, and my dad came along just in the nick of time and saw two little red things hanging from that tree, and they were my little red kids. And he looked over his shoulder and saw, what is that? Oh, it's my daughter hanging from a tree. And in that moment, he helped me, convinced me actually, that I was the luckiest little girl on the block because that had happened, not in spite of the fact that it had happened. And his recipe for resilience is one anybody can follow. Because you look for the good.
How do you go through all of that and still come out smiling and happy and determined to live, really?
Well, you don't have to have my upbringing or my parents to come through it.
We don't have to go to the white light?
No, you don't have to go to the right light. It's a matter of looking for it. When something bad happens, I just believe there is good in it because there almost always is. My sketch comedy writing daughter says pain plus time equals comedy. It's that old recipe. But I don't wait for the time. I just decide there's good in this, and we control only our reaction to something. And I figure if a bad thing happens, it wins twice if we don't recover from it in a hurry. So,
And I guess you're living proof of how important it is to teach this to children.
I think so. Yeah, my dad managed to convince me in every moment. I mean, we all have things that aren't so great. You may not have been struck by lightning. Perhaps you have, I don't know. But even if you haven't, you've got something going on in your life that may not feel so great. You may have money problems or a job you don't love or no job at all. And in the midst of that, there is good. You can find, even if on the street that morning, the person you pass, engage that person and say, hey, how you doing today? If you look for the good, you'll find it. If you look for the bad, you'll find that too. So why not look for the good?
You keep saying struck by lightning. I keep thinking you better buy a lottery ticket. We always hear those statistics.
Yeah, well, and I don't play the lottery, so perhaps I should.
This is really a recipe, and not just a story about how many times you've encountered death, but really a recipe for living life to its fullest.
It is. I think my book will tell people, if you're not having a great life, we all can relate to that. If parenting is difficult or, you're not sure, the tough stuff in parenting, how to talk to your kids about sex. There's a lot in my book that I'm sort of a cautionary tale about that. I encountered some bullies, and because I was really not entirely well prepared for that kind of thing, it's a difficult topic and we kind of giggle about it, but if you're prepared and you want to go into life in a way that is fun and instructive, you can come out of it, all the hard stuff can be easier. Whether you experienced a lightning strike, or you're just trying to talk to your kids about sex, or you've got some marriage stuff going on, it's an attitude and a way to live. It is.
How do you start with kids? So where do you begin with all this?
Well, I'd say start early and call things what they are by their real names. It's the safe way to do it, because then if somebody runs into trouble, that your child can actually say, this person touched me here, and there's no disagreement as to what it is. And then later, I think it's whatever you feel about whether you wait until you're married or whether you feel you don't wait until you're married, you're the person as a parent who gets to determine, here's how we feel about this in our family. I think if you develop a healthy we-they relationship with the rest of the world and say, obviously, if you think mom and dad's word is law, then you need to say that. Or if you say, and then there are lots of great resources out there. There's a book I used with my own daughter called It's Perfectly Natural, I think is what it's called. And but I didn't hand it to her and have her read it. I said, let's talk about this. This is a gift. This opportunity we have is a gift, and I want you to understand what it is and how precious it is. So you go there whether you really want to or not.
The book is